Alright, so next we're going to tackle the A-arms. We're going to put on the Hauser Racing +1s. Alright, we got them all laid out here. This is all we're going to tackle. We're going to put on the upper, lower, the tie rod. We're going to attach the shock. We're going to put the rotors onto the hub. We're going to put the caliper on. Alright, so the first thing we do is we're going to attach the bottom, the lower. We're going to attach the lower. So let's set this baby down. Alright, so what we want to do first is we want to grease the inside of here a little bit. So let's get yourself some grease and put a little bit of grease on the inside of here. Let's make sure those inside bearings are greased up a bit. Then what we want to do is we want to put a little bit of grease on the sleeves. And then we want to just poke these through. You want to make sure they stick out a little bit on each side because we got some thrust washers. Now let's do the other side. And then let's just poke that through there. Okay. Now comes the fun part. What we need to do is we're going to take 2 sets of thrust washers, which are these little guys. Got a little bit of grease left over on the finger, and to get them to stick on there, and these thrust washers, actually, I think I have them on. They have a flat side and a concave side. You want to make sure the flat side goes against the flat side of the arm. That one was right. Okay, and then let's do the other side. That one doesn't feel right. And you want to make sure they don't fall off like that one just did. Oh, trust me, this is going to be a pain in the ass. I had a hell of a time with the other side. Now, now that we have these kind of stuck on here, we're going to also need to put 2 sets of dust washers in here with them and thread a bolt through. So let's just go ahead and grease up our bolts real fast. You want to put a little bit of grease on the bolts right here. That'll keep it from seizing up down the road, or rusting out and stuff like that. All right. So, this is where it gets tricky. What I found the easiest way is to put a little grease on the first one and try to stick it on there. And send a bolt through. It's really not that easy to do. There we go. And hopefully we didn't lose any of the washers on the other side. It doesn't look like we did. Washer's still here. So now let's see if we can't get this guy to stick in there. Nope. Maybe we can get it to rest. Ah. Okay, so now we need to, let's put a bolt through here and try to get it to stick to the washer. Okay, we got the washer hooked. Now, I need to clean my hands off because I don't want to touch the thing with grease all over it. Okay, now let's try to slide that through there without losing a washer. We did. Okay, so now we got the two dust washer, or the 2 thrust washers are still sticking on the ends of here, thank God. And this is where it gets really tricky because sometimes these openings are not wide enough for another washer to go through there. And I had to do some finagling with a hammer. So let's see if this one goes a little smoother. Just in case, we got our trusty hammer ready. So let's see if we can't get a little grease on here. Get that to go through there. What I had to do, you want it to kind of rest out this way. There we go. This guy, see, just slid. I need my glasses. All right. There we go. Now, maybe if I come up from the bottom. Ooh. Okay, we're sort of in there. I think it might have started. You got to get it to go on the other side of that collar, which is not an easy chore. Well, it's in there, but it's going to take a little bit of a... All right, it went. So now we can be pretty careful here. All right, I'm gonna need to adjust myself here. Let's get some of these parts out of the way. Alright, let's try to get this other one started over here real fast. We'll come back to that one in a second. This is not easy to get this thing's going through there, I'll tell you that much. Might have to prop it up. Alright, let's try to get the other one started. Okay, so far so good there. And we might need to persuade it a little bit. Alright, let's get a little bit of a grease out of this washer. We need to go in here. And that one doesn't seem to want to start. Oh, it was going. God damn it. Well, I'm not going over there. We'll get a new one. We'll have to get that one eventually anyway. All right. Ooh, that one started. Let's go over here and crack it from the top. Alright, that one went a little bit. That one went too far. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, that one came through, I think. Ooh, almost. Alright, there's one through. Now let's see if we can't get that other dog in there. Ooh, alright. One more little chunk right here and we should have it. Alright, so that's how that has to work. Not an easy chore, but we got it done. So, now we can go ahead and torque these things down. Well, let's just leave this up. Alright, first, I'm going to just buzz these down because it's much faster. Alright, we'll buzz that one down a bit. And this one we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Alright, now we can torque these down. Okay, so let's torque these down to 29 foot-pounds. Okay, 29 there. All right, bottom done. Now we can tackle the upper arm. And you can see I've put a little padding over the top of the bottom, so because we don't want it to be hitting while we're doing this. Now when you put these on, I forgot to mention, but there's grease zirks that go here, and we'll do those last because we don't want it to get in the way here while we're messing with it and adjusting everything. We could snap it off. These go last, but you want to face these up. So that's how you know which direction these go. Alright, so let's just repeat that process all over again. And we take a little bit of grease and we grease these sleeves up. A little bit of grease in the arms themselves. Okay, and then we just slide these sleeves in after we get them greased up. And make sure that they kind of go half in. Take some of the excess grease and put it around the outside of here because we're going to attach those thrust washers. And just grease up this other sleeve here. Okay, set this here and see if we can't get it to stay without falling. Of course we can't. Nope. Alright, anyway, I don't know if you can see this down here or not, but I'm going to set it down here for a second. So now we just repeat the same process that we just did on the lowers. we go through that same crappy process to try to get those thrust washers to stick. And all right, let's do it. Let's put a little bit of grease on the back side. Make sure once again that the flat side of these thrust washers is against the flat side of the arm, the pivot. Yeah, I still got that other washer that flew over there. I gotta go get it, huh? Okay. Let's grease up our bolts real fast. Just the inside of here, don't hit the threads. We can wipe them off, of course, but all right. So with this one, I'm gonna do it different because, not really different, but just different order. I'm gonna thread the back one first because I'm having a weird thing with this one washer. It doesn't want to stay on. So let's do the back side first. Try to get that to go in there without falling off. Oh, see, it fell already. They both fell. This one's not going to be easy. Dang it. Why won't that one stay? I need to get a washer on there. Okay, got it through. Don't move, don't fall. Whew. Okay, we got that one. See, that's why we got the rag down here, so we can rest that down there. All right, now let's try to feed some grease on this washer to get it to feed on in there and stick. Yeah, perfect. Let's do this. Let's try to get that thing in there and slide it through the bolt. There we go. Now try to maneuver this so that it stays. Hey, there you go. Alright, so now we got half. Now comes, once again, the fun part, where we got to jam those other washers in there. Well, this side doesn't look very promising because this does not have very much space. I don't see how I'm going to pound that in there. That's what she said. Ha ha! Woo! I'll be here all day. All day. Oh, anyway, let's get the glasses on. Oh, I got more room than I thought. See, gotta make sure you got the glasses on. All right, now we gotta get these last two in there, and then that's the hassle of the project here. The rest of it, it can be a chore, but nothing like this. This is crazy. So I think I'm going to try to do this one first, so it looks like it has more space. All right, well that one seems like it's gonna go, so let's just leave that one and sit there. We'll try to get this dog started. That doesn't look very promising either. But that's what I said about the other one, huh? And it went all right. That's a tight fit right there. I don't know. This one, we're gonna have to grab another angle. Ooh, it started to turn. Wow, that one bent. Luckily they're washers. We can bend it back. It's got to go in there though. See, just like so. Just like nothing ever happened. Hey, maybe. We're so close. This one doesn't want to budge. I don't want to ruin anything. I don't want to hit the thing. I did hit it once. Ooh, maybe. Oh, it's so close. Nothing a little bit of persuasion can't handle. It's not what I wanted to do, but we'll have to fix that so it doesn't hit anything. Alright. Beautiful. Now, hopefully, this one goes in, because it seemed like it was pretty smooth, so this one should just roll right in there. Oh yeah, just needs to come down a little bit. Come down a little bit. Come on down. You're the next contestant on Smashed with a Hammer. It won't, I think it needs to go back this way a bit. Oh, alright, so it needs to go down here. There it is. Boom. Whew. Alright. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, but you can probably see the way we're doing this too. The bolts go front to back all the way through. Alright. Now we can nut these babies up and torque them. Nut up and torque. 29 foot-pounds. Remember, if you're liking these videos, if you're liking this video, go ahead and hit that like button down there. And like button. Hit that thumbs up. All right, let's buzz them. Can't buzz this one either, can I? No. Let's torque them. Torque them. Torque, 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 torque. All right. Ow. 29 foot-pounds.
If you're liking this build, make sure you subscribe. You get to watch all the new videos coming up. We're getting ready to build the rest of this thing. We got a motor to build. We got all kinds of stuff going on. "29 foot-pounds. Hopefully we can get that in there. "29 foot-pounds. All right. Torqued up, bottom and top. Give it a little, work a little bit of the grease through there. All right, next step, we're going to install the Slicast system and the ball joint to the upper A-arm. So the way this works is it has little notches right here, and that catches these Slicast settings. And the way it is in the manual is when it's set to 0, this will be at the bottom. So if you have it set to 0, which is right here, this should be at the bottom. Because the way this works is we have a little lock nut on here, and let's see, we set it about right about here, I guess. Let's get the glasses on. Why do I not have my glasses on? Alright, so we'll set it about right here. Looks good, I just guess for now. We'll adjust it later, of course, but I actually don't want it at 0 though. 0 is at the bottom, and it should be 0 here, and they said it should be at the bottom, which it is. So this is the way it lines up perfectly. But I'm gonna set it at 2. And then we can slide this through, and we make sure that this guy on the back side goes in the hole, because basically this follows this. There's a hole, and it goes up and down like this, so you want to make sure that, you know, you have it flush inside of here. And then there's a nylock nut. And we don't want to tighten that down right now. I think this is the right size. Yeah. But we'll snug it so it doesn't fall out. Let's get my setting back to 2. Okay. We can tighten this one down once it gets once we get more stuff to have tension on. We'll just keep it like so for now. Try to pull that out, because we're gonna adjust these, and these nuts sometimes they spin. That's why all these washers are on there. We might have to, I had to do it on the other side. We'll go through that once we get to that point, but you might have to spin down this with a bunch of washers so that it drags this out. Otherwise, it just keeps on spinning. The whole thing spins inside. And I had it happen on both the top and the bottom on the other side, and it took a while. So hopefully this one doesn't. But you know it's going to, just because that's the way it rolls. Anyway, that's all there is to that. So the Slicast system is in place. All right, next we can install the lower ball joint and hook up the spindle. So this has a lock washer. And the way this works is it has a slot right here. It has a slot right here so that it can't turn. And then this just spins on the other side. I said it just spins on the other side. There we go. With a lock washer. And for right now, I'm just gonna snug it down. We'll tighten these up and torque them. I think this is the right size, is it? No. These are 19s. Just gonna snug it down and we'll torque those at a later date. Now we can hook up the spindle. In case you're wondering, this is a 400EX. This is a 2006 450R front spindle because we're running the 450R front brakes. So we need the 450R front spindle, and we need the 2006 or higher because if it's lower, they do not fit on the 400EX. This one does, and it's much beefier and nicer, and we have the dual caliper brakes now from the 450R. So yeah, you can watch the video too, by the way. I rebuilt these calipers in a video, so make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that thumbs up, make sure you like it, make sure you subscribe and you keep up with this build. All right, let's get on to this. This is where it gets fun. Now you obviously want to make sure this points out because that's where the wheel goes. And you want to make sure this points in because this is where the tie rod hooks up. So let's bust this guy into there. And we got a ton of washers on here, but I'll explain that in a second. Actually, I'm going to try it without. We'll see what happens. It's supposed to take one washer, and this one has a flat side. Make sure the flat side goes up. And a nylock nut. And hopefully and then this guy bolts right in there, like so. And then once again, flat side down on this one, flat side against the spindle. And now we can tighten these down. I can't torque them though because I don't have the proper tool for me to get in there. My torque wrench does not fit in there. So we'll just snug them down for now, and you will want to continue and torque them, but I can't torque them right now. So let's put this up. And see if we can get this thing to catch. And I don't have the proper tools for any of this right now, so this is where you'd want to use a, short well socket or whatnot. I can't get in there, so I'm gonna have to use a little crescent wrench. We're just gonna snug these for now, if we can. Need my glasses. And like I said, hopefully we can get this one to catch. Without twisting. Because it makes things a whole lot easier if you can get this done without doing the washer trick. So far, so good. Knock on wood. Oh, I said it. See, it's starting to twist. So basically what's happening is the whole thing is turning. Let's see what happens with the top one. You know what? I have an idea. Let's hook up the tie rod in so that it stops moving on me like that. How's that? Perfect. Woo! All right. Oh, no go. It turned also. All right, so we're gonna have to do the washer trick on these guys. It's not fun. I had to do it on both the other sides, but what the hell? You guys will get a good idea of how this works, I guess. Alright, so the way this works, we gotta get on the ground here. So, I don't know if you can see, let me roll around here. Alright. So the way this works, I don't know if you can see this or not, but when I turn this, the whole thing turns. At least I think it just did. Yeah. See, the whole thing turns inside. So what we need to do is we need to back this back off. Since I got it down kind of far, I'm going to try 2 washers. So we just put 2 extra washers on here. Don't worry about these washers because they're not going to stay. But what we need to do is we need to tighten it down and get it to catch. And if I had proper tools, it would be so much better. I don't even have a 19 wrench. I have everything but that. See? This is where it gets stupid. It's turning again, and we haven't caught anything yet. So I gotta back it back off. And put another one on. We're gonna need 3. Hell, we might even need 4. Oh, nope. Okay, so what you do is now it's tightening all these washers, right? And what it's also doing is it's pulling this tight. So once we can get that tight up there, we'll be able to back this nut back off again. Let's get it good and tight though, without stripping it. I don't want to do any damage with this stupid little crescent wrench. Okay, so hopefully we got it tight, right? Where it's pulled up itself and snugged itself up in there. And now I should be able to back this back off. Because we gotta be very, god damn it, see, don't fucking move, man. We gotta be very careful now. We don't want it to get set back down in there. And now, we should be able to take these other washers off. This is the one we want to stay on there. Remember, flat side down. Now, since we've tightened it, now we just don't want to jar it loose. Again, that's really tricky. Be very careful. Be very careful. Now, hopefully, we can get this thing to snug down. Well, we made it past the nylock, so we should be good smooth sailing, but we still got to be really careful so we don't tap it or let it fall back in there or jar itself or do something stupid. You can leave the washers on there, but mine weren't the proper size. There we go. Woo! We caught the washer down there, so now it's not going to come loose anymore. Now it's tight. So now we can, well, we would torque this, but I can't because I don't have a proper torque wrench to go in there, and I don't have a wrench or anything else to snug it or anything else. So right now is when you would torque this thing to, what is this thing? Ball joint nuts, 21 foot-pounds. So you would torque this to 21 foot-pounds right now, but I can't do that because I don't have, like I said, I don't have the proper torque wrench. I don't want to strip it or do anything stupid.
All right, so now we're gonna put on our hub. But first, we need to attach the rotor to the hub sitting there. So here's a little trick that I like to do because we need to torque it. So then what we do, put the tire in the lugs.
If you can find them. If you can find the right ones. There you go. So I like to put those into there, right? And then we attach the rotor and the writing goes up. Because you can see that there's countersinks right there. So we line that dog up. And then we got our brand new bolts, blue Loctited already up. If you don't have them, you're going to need some blue Loctite on these. And then what I do to just make the job a little faster, boom, get the job done. And then we can torque them. 31 foot-pounds. Got the torque wrench already set up. All right, 31. 31. All right, 31. And then voila. Before we go any farther with the hub and the wheel and that good stuff and the brakes, let's hook up the tie rod in properly, shall we? We shall. All right, so basically the way the tie rod works is one side's left-handed threaded, one side is regular threaded, and you can spin it between each other. Here, let's hook this up. So basically, here's the tie rod, right? Tie rod end, goes on each end, and then you can spin this in between each of them to bring it in or bring it out, depending on which direction you go. But in order for that to happen, one side is left-handed threads. So this guy is left-handed, and it is signified by the gold nut. The gold nut is left-handed. Of course, I'm left-handed, so gold, that's proper color, gold. So anyway, so what we do is we first put the lock nut on, and it's left-handed, so you got to make sure that you get it spun on this direction. And of course, we're just going to spin it down to where I think it might go, which is probably right about, let's just put it, let's put it right about there, just for shits and giggles. And then we can put this on, and of course it's backwards threaded. And we'll just put it right down to about here. This one's going to go this direction, so we'll put it facing down. And then let's get us the regular threaded side. And we'll spin it down to right about, let's try right about here. I don't know why. That just looks good, doesn't it? Sure. Awesome. And we'll zip it down. This one's going to face up. So we'll face it up. And we'll zip it down. We don't want to touch it yet. We'll just put it right here to make sure that we got everything under control. Alright, so then what we're going to do, we got our bars facing pretty much a little bit straight as we think they should go. And then you're going to put that thing, this end is going to go up right in there. And this end is going to go facing this direction. And it looks like we need a little more. So we'll come out a little bit on it. Look at that. There we are. And then we got castle nuts that go on there. So we got the castle nut here. And these are a 17. I'm just going to snug it down right now because once again we're not going to do any torquing on this right yet. We might need to adjust it, and this one probably not. We could probably torque that, but we're not going to yet. We're going to torque all of this stuff at the same time. Anyway, there's a castle nut that goes on the other end here as well. There you go. And we'll just zip that guy down too. Just snug it up. Okay. And then, that is how it's supposed to look there. So, what we can do is, I'm going to show you how this works. So check this out. So if you zip these babies, get rid of these, lock back this way, and get rid of this back this direction, then see you can get this little slot right here on this where you can, once it gets too tight to do by your hand, you can put a wrench in there. I think it's a 17. Maybe it's a 14. Oh yeah, look at that. It's a 14. So then you can just take this wrench and do this with it. But we don't need to because it's good enough to do with our hands right now. You can see when I spin this thing, if you watch the spindle, you can see it going back this way or back this way. So once we get the tire on there, we'll be able to figure out how to make this thing go straight. Right now, I'm just going to eyeball it, and I say right about there looks pretty good. So then we can zip these down. And there you go. And that's how it turns. See, so right there, those are the two tie rod ends. And then when you twist the handlebars, you can see them swivel. And that's what controls your front wheels. Now we can get on to installing the wheel hub there onto the spindle. The wheel hub. Let's put that wheel hub on, shall we? Alright, so the wheel hub's a pretty simple process. Once again, we have a video on this wheel hub. I rebuilt this thing and we had it powder coated by Specialty Coatings Inc. Again, that's Specialty Coatings Inc. here in Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, so make sure that you like this video. Make sure you throw that thumbs up down there so you know you help me out if you do that, if you give me some good props. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to be getting a lot more stuff done. We're going to be throwing a motor in here. We're going to be rebuilding the motor. We got that ready to go. We're going to be putting the rest of this quad together, and pretty soon we're going to tear it up. So make sure you subscribe to keep notified and hit that bell to get your notifications. Anyway, let's put this wheel hub on. This is a pretty simple process. All this does is you make sure it faces the right direction and you put it on the spindle. And you make sure your collars are in there and your bushings are in there, and that's it. See? Gotta put it on the right direction. That's all you gotta do. Good Lord. All right. Look at that. And you want to make sure that you kind of give it a little wiggle and finesse it on a little bit to push all the air out of it, because there's grease and stuff in here, and you want to make sure that you get all that free before you put the castle nut on. So look at that. Runs beautiful. So then next, all you got to do, castle nut. And once again, we're not going to torque any of this, but in case you're at this step, this is where you would torque right here. And all right, then you take the, once you get this torqued on, you would take your cotter pin and put it through, bend it out. But we're not gonna torque it, or we'll put the cotter pin in right now. That's that. Pretty simple process. Let's get down to the brake. Let's get that brake caliper hooked up. The brake caliper goes right here, and just a couple of bolts, but they go through the caliper. So let's get this caliper on there. Woo! Look at this fine piece of machinery right there. Yeah, once again, you can view the video on this. I have a video where I rebuilt these calipers. These are from a 450R. Yeah, in case you were wondering why they have dual pistons on a 400EX, that's why. We have put the 450R spindle to match up to the holes on the 450R brakes. This is from a 2006 plus. You got to make sure that you get a higher 2006 or above, and they bolt right up onto the 400EX. And now we can use our 450R brakes. And again, I have a video on rebuilding these. If you would like to check that out, just look through our videos on the channel. I'll put a link to it right about here. Basically, you just want to make sure that you spread the pads apart so they can fit over the rotor. The bleeder valve goes to the top. And then we just put this baby right on across here. And we match it up with the holes. Get that one started. And then I do it the easy way. Oh, let's turn the handlebars. Let's give you a better look here if we turn the handlebars. All right, now let's just do this the easy way. And then you would torque these down. All right. Let's get this goddamn wheel on there so we can drop this baby. Woo! Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Let's get the wheel on. Woo! All right. Roll the wheel over. Just put that sucker on there. Now match up the old holes. Perfect. Sit there. Put the bottom one on first so it doesn't fly up on off. And you want to crisscross them if you're torquing or putting these down for reels. Woo! That's what we were going for.